Okay, well, guys, there will be some slight changes in our agenda, and we will start with the usability testing. My name is Sofia, and I'm the Business Development Manager at Plerdy. So let's start with this presentation. Usability testing. Let's talk about website tips and examples. So over here at Plerdy, as you have already heard, we help to track, analyze, and convert your visitors into buyers. How do we do that? So actually, we have more than 100 opportunities and 8 different products, such as heat maps and events, pop-up forms and NPS, SEO checker, video sessions, sales performance, and conversion funnels tools. Okay, so let's speak what has changed and what are the reasons behind it in terms of the usability testing. We decided to take into consideration the data for 2018 and 2019 years. And what have we noticed? So first of all, we see that there is an increase of the percentage of the bounce rate. We also see that the conversion rate is lowering and the amount of viewed pages is also lowering. At the same time, the mobile traffic is growing, and actually there is almost no desktop traffic increase. And plus, we see that people are getting lazy to spend more time on the website. Well, this was the data for 2018-19, and of course, we're looking forward to analyzing more data for the 2020 and 2021, but actually we believe that these trends will be remaining. So over here, you can see on the graphic generally that the mobile traffic is growing, right? So for the users, for the bounce rate, for the pages and sessions, the mobile, desktop, and tablet are lowering, and for other features as well. And you might be asking, so why there are few sales, right? We understand that there are some changes, but what's the reason behind that? So according to our analysis, we see that, of course, the amount of competitors is growing, which means that you have to be better and better every day if you want to sell your products. The same thing, for example, if you believe that the design that you had 2 years ago and it was working well, it doesn't mean that it will work right now. Right? Why? Competitors are growing, people are changing, everything is changing. So you also have to keep up your design with these new tendencies. At the same time, the mobile traffic is growing. So for sure, if you emphasize mostly on the desktop, now you have to move or to make changes for your mobile to make sure that mobile traffic is growing. Small details. Small details is something that we usually do not want to pay attention to because we think, well, okay, small details are small. But this is where it comes to, because small details on your website usually are the crucial ones. So by eliminating some important small details, you might provoke that the visitors won't come back to your website. So small details are important, but of course, it's up to you to understand and to learn what are these small details for your business are. Laziness and time. Of course, we are lazy and we do not want to spend too much time on the website. This is not big news for us, but this is something that we, the businesses, we have to take into consideration, because you have to attract your customer at this moment when he or she enters the website, and he or she has to understand that this is the right platform I want to spend my time at. And of course, you have to eliminate the usability and conversion funnels errors. That's something we're going to show you a little bit later on the websites, examples. Well, and now let's talk about Z generation. What's that, and why do we have to think about this digital man or digital woman, right? So this digital generation is born between 2000 and 2005. It means that by now, they are adults who are actively using new technology and who are your potential clients. So they are real, right? You can't already say that, oh, they're still kids. No, they are real, which means that they have completely new habits that we have to understand, analyze to make changes on our websites. What do we know about Z generation? First of all, is that their device number one is mobile phone, right? I can't imagine a day without a phone, and I believe for lots of people that's the same problem. Or maybe not a problem, but for me, it's a challenge. Well, and also what we have been noticing is that this digital generation is actively transitioning to video format. Of course, it's easier. So right now, instead of reading a long article, you can watch a video and you can get the information you need. So that could be a nice hint for the businesses to maybe switch the information that earlier would be put in the article in the words in a video format. So let's talk about how the users see the website, because the businesses, we sometimes forget that we are users as well, and we are kind of like behind the scene. But let's learn the behavior of the user to understand what we, in our case, what we can do to make our business better. So, web page examples. And for that, I would like to show you the results that we collected from our tools. Just a moment. So you can see, right, you can see this demo presentation correctly? I believe, I hope so. Okay, yeah. So over here, we decided to check what was happening or what was the user behavior on some of the pages of these conferences. So you remember when you were registering for this conference, you had to fill in the, first you had to visit the page and fill in the information. So let's see what okay, just a moment. You see the presentation over here. My team is letting me know that, okay, just a moment. Yep. Okay, right? You recognize this page, the one that you had to visit before entering the information to participate in this conference. So what do we see here? The clicks, right? So the heat maps gives us the understanding of where the users, the visitors of the website were clicking mostly. And if you see here the register form, that might be a little bit annoying for some people who were trying to close it, right? But they couldn't close it because there were a couple of copies of this form. So some people were trying to close it. What is the sign for us? So we can understand that maybe we should change the format of this form, or maybe there should be another repositioning of this form to make it more attractive for the users. Next, what we see that some people try to register here, okay, doesn't work, but a lot of clicks are here. So name and all of the personal data was input correctly. And okay, we see lots of clicks over here. Good. What's next? Some people were trying to understand, can I, maybe there's a link, right? Because when you move your cursor here, it shows that there is something that you can do with this title, but actually you can't. So this was tricky for some visitors, which might be a sign for us as well. Maybe we should input some link here for some article to our blog. Let's move on. And it seems like some people were still trying to close this page, right? 64 clicks over here, but this item is not working. It's just a picture. Maybe if we, for now that we analyzed this information, maybe we could input something interesting here. So the one who click, they could find some articles, or they would be re-invited to the same page. So lots of ideas to brainstorm on. Okay, let's go down, and now we see that people were actually reading. They were reading what this event is about, which is a good sign, right? Because we want to make sure that we have the targeted audience at our conference. But what's happening here with the speakers? So, okay, not that many clicks, which is strange because usually you would like to learn more about who your speakers are. We will also use another tools to check whether our hypothesis is true, that this part of this website lacks something. Let's move on with the agenda. Okay, so here might be an insight. Exactly. Have a look at the agenda. So what we have noticed is that, you see, here's this small pop-up form, which works if you click on it, but no one used it. Why? Because people found out that it's a lot easier to click here and see the same information. Well, in this case, it doesn't matter a lot for us whether the visitors clicked here or here, but if we sell something on this website, this is a good insight for us to learn that, okay, even if logically it seems that the information will be shown to you, it's not convenient, it's not attracting, let's say, the visitor to click on it. Yep, the same tendency you see, so no one clicked on this form here. Let's see what's next. So with the partners part, which is a pity, we see that not very people, let's say, survived till this part of the website, and the become a partner form was not that popular. And actually we have some insights that some people input their information here as they wanted to attend the event. So they they took this form as the form for registering as the attendee, not as the partner, which means that maybe there's something bad in the title, right? Maybe we should make it brighter, bigger. We don't know yet, but we can figure it out. Okay, for the partners, it's nice to see that people wanted to learn more about the partners, and have a look here. So conversion rate, I'm not quite sure, but it might be some trick from our side that we just decided to put some information on the conversion rate, and the partners were here. So this was kind of like a game for attentiveness. Who pays attention to what they click on? Okay, and I hope there are some of you who played the game. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so we have 65 clicks on the game, which I will show you a little bit later, the results of this game, which is nice that people still drop down here. But if you consider the amount of clicks in this part, which was, I believe, around 200 or even more. Yeah, more than 200. So we just only have 60 clicks over here. So maybe people do not want to play, or they just do not scroll down. Well, except for the heat maps, let's see the clicks in percentage. Clicks in percentage on how our visitors were moving on this page. Okay, right. So basically, as we thought, this first part of the website, which brought us the biggest amount of clicks, actually has the biggest amount of visitors, right, in the percentages. And as long as we go down, so then we see that for the speakers part, only 14.7% of the whole amount of visitors was interested to learn about the speakers, which is strange, right? Because when you go to the conference, you really want to know who your speakers are. So maybe for us, for the next time when we consider to redesign the page, what if we put the speakers in the upper part, right? And what if we do this not in the terms of the slides, but what if we put them all in one line, so that you don't have to scroll to the left or to the right, but you will be able to see all of the speakers at once. And as long as we go down, you see only 8% went to this part to learn about the agenda, which is understandable for me because I'm the one who is always looking for surprises. That's why I'm not reading the agenda when I go to the conference, because I want to be amazed every time I meet a new speaker. But I don't think that's very professional from my side. So maybe this would be a nice idea for us to put agenda maybe in the upper part, or even to send the agenda to our registered visitors, which is a nice thing to do. Okay, and for the partners, exactly. So the one of the lowest percentages is here. Let's check one more time with the scroll depth. So with the clicks in percentage tool, we realized that the first part of our website was the most fruitful, let's say so, was the scroll depth. Does it agree with our hypothesis? So yeah, for the first region, we call those regions. The first region of our website has the biggest amount of visits. Okay, very nice. But now I believe that in this first part, we took lots of space just to put the name of the conference and the data. Okay, registering form is also important. What if we put some information about the speakers here and the agenda here in some links? Might be useful as well. Okay, so more if we want to learn more about the visitors visitors' behavior, we can also check the staying a mouse. So where would people spend most time with their mouse, right? Same, the first region brings us the biggest amount of visits, and you can simply see that when you, oh no, look. So this is something interesting. I would say that according to heat maps, to clicks in percentage, to scroll depth, the first region of our website is the most fruitful. But that's why it's important to check and have lots of different tools to check your hypothesis. Because with staying a mouse tool, we see that our second region brings us the biggest amount of visits. Why? Maybe people really want to know more about the event because they would see the post on LinkedIn, they would see the post on other social media, but still, what is this event about? Do I really need to take my time to visit it, to attend it, right? So that's good to know that people do read where they, what events they attend. Okay, let's have a look at the text selection. With the text selection, in case we had some visitors, some users that would select something on our page, we would see that text selection results. But for now, I can't see any. Still, this is a very nice tool because it helps to understand what words attracted the customer's attention. Okay, the sales performance and quantity of sales are not relevant in this case because we're not selling anything on our page. But in case you would use this tool, this is something that that could really help you understand the insights of the sales performance on your web page. Oh, by the way, over here, so I decided to check for February because our event is in February, but in case we would have this, we launched the campaign, let's say in January, I could check the information starting from January to February, which would give me more information. And plus, notice, I check the information on the desktop. For tablet, we don't have any information, and for mobile, we only have 6%, sorry, so not that much. Desktop would be the best variant for us right now to analyze the data that we collected. And I also decided to take all the traffics, but in your case, you could take different traffics. And when we analyze this page in details after the conference for sure, we will take everything separately to understand better the user's behavior. Okay, now what I want to show you, I will have to go back. You will see me again, I believe. Okay, just a moment. And so you have to see this. Okay, so we saw the event, and sorry, I'm trying to open one more page. The game. So this is the game I was telling you about, which actually, what we heard from some players of this game, it was really naughty, and this is why we decided to make this game naughty, just to check how much you can play with your users, right? So what are the limits that you should not exceed when you want to keep your user? And as Kron said, you want to put your user in the center. So over here, when people were playing this game, you could see that there was always this pop-up window saying hurry up, which was actually very annoying. A lot of people tried to close it, but here is the problem. So we, or the creators of this game, who were creating the button to close this form, they decided to hide the close button somewhere here. Imagine, your customer is getting angry because he or she is having all of these pop-up forms, and he's trying to find the button to close it, to continue his navigation through the website. And he's trying, of course, he doesn't want to read everything on the web page. Exactly. So he just clicks on this big button, which seems to be the most inviting, but no, this is a different button which has completely different functions. So he or she has to spend more time to find this button, and finally they find. But can you imagine how much stress and pain we brought to the gamers, right? While before they found the correct button. And plus we can see that some people were clicking on some random parts of this form, which means that hurry up was making them not to think, but just quickly find the solution for this problem. And a lot of people were actually trying to close it here, right? Because usually you would have this cross up in the corner, but no, we decided to change the familiar ways of thinking, the familiar design thinking for our users, and challenge them a little bit. So let me close it. And what do we see next? So for those who is not familiar with this game page, just small introduction. First, you would have to input the password. Oh, you see, again, hurry up. Input your personal data, then you would have to spend lots of time to input your phone number, and you see a lot of people were trying to close this form again. They wanted to cancel it. Well, it doesn't work either. They wanted to move to another step, and only with that they would find this next button. So you might be thinking, why would you make this game so complicated? Exactly, why? Well, just to understand what's the behavior of our users. So from here we see, first of all, if you want your users to feel comfortable, to relax while being at your website, you either have to educate them a lot before that you are changing the general design thinking of all the websites, right? Or you just have to comply with the general norms that cross will be here if you want to close the form, that moving to the next form would be here, right? Because this is the biggest button on all of this form, and not somewhere to the left or to the right, especially if we take into consideration that most people use their right hand for writing. So it's not very smart of us to put this next button to the left side. Okay, well, if you have patience more, you can try to play this game after the conference, but this was a really hard one, but it gave us really cool insights. Well, and now let me show you the video of some of the users who are playing this game. Okay. Okay, so before the game, let's see what the customers, what the visitors thought about when they found themselves on this first page of the conference. Okay, so someone is reading. Okay, someone is reading, not registering. Okay. Learning about the event. That's smart, right? Learning about the event before registering. Interesting. Will they go okay to the speakers? They think, is this really worth attending? Well, but they didn't spend too much. They didn't spend too much time on neither on the speakers nor on the agenda. Okay, game. Seems like game was something that attracted the attention. Okay, cool. One of these examples for now that we see that the game was important, so maybe we even bring it to the top next time. And one more video, which was really, we could really see that the visitor was suffering a little bit. It's a little bit longer, but I'm sure you will enjoy it. Just a moment. Okay, you already can see how many clicks were done. So are you ready? Let's see. This was the first page when the visitor came, got redirected to the game page. Okay, the information is being input. By the way, you can see that despite the fact that this video is recorded, we can't see any data that the visitor is inputting. Okay, let me make it a little bit faster. Oh, this was tricky, right? Okay, you see, this was really fast. For closing, your password is not, well, okay, I have to stop here because for this game. So after inputting all of the personal data, now you find yourself on this page where you have to add a picture of yourself. And here is what we did. You see on this screen, download image. Well, you don't have to download image, but this button is so inviting that you would click to download image, and lots of people downloaded some image that was hidden here. But actually a button for uploading your personal image was somewhere hidden back here. Okay, let's see next what happens. And here was actually fun as well. You see, we gave lots of different interests, and it takes time to click each square. But here you could choose unselect all. But how is it possible to find this unselect all if everything, the words, the like this part of this text is not different from any other part of this text, right? So not smart from our side, but we were checking whether we as the users, do we read everything, or how do we let's say cooperate, how do we engage with the items on the web page? And now we see that it's not only about reading, it's about colors, right? And of course everybody knows that about colors, about the forms, but this is the bright example of how our brain is suffering when we do not find the items that would attract our attention. Well, let's see next what the user is doing. This was really smart. Well, smart user, it sounds well, the user logically understood that this game is not going to be easy. So as you have just seen, he or she chose the correct button to close this popping up form, right, which was down to the left. Okay, at this moment I'm stopping it right here because the visitor is thinking. So he's having his cursor here and he's thinking, download image is not something that I need to do. So what should I do? Thinking, and having some hard times. Okay. So right, this video we could let's go a little bit further to learn more about this visitor behavior, but you see the idea. So first of all, it's really cool to understand how your visitors communicate with your web page. And how can you do that? Of course, with pop-up forms, of course, you can run surveys, you can run different polls, but I believe one of the best tools is that you can see the recorded version of how your users are behaving on the web page. And that was really a cool insight for us to understand that this game is fun, but there is a lot that we need to work on, not to make our visitors angry. Yeah. Okay. And I really want to show you one thing which might make you laugh a little bit. So we want to share the rating of all participants. Of course, it's nothing to hide. This information is it doesn't have anything personal, but this was really fun to see how much patience your customers, or in this case the visitors, have. So most people would just spend 2-4 minutes on this web page playing this game, which was really hard because not understanding what to put and where. But some visitors were really persistent, and you can see that some of them spent up to half an hour or even more while playing this game. What does this mean? It means that we have different customers, right? Before we told you that laziness and lack of time, right? These are the factors that describe us because we do not want to spend too much time on the website, which is not attractive to us. But still there are some customers that are accepting this challenge, right? They're accepting this game, and they want to make sure that despite all of the uncomfortable items on your website, they still can achieve their goal. Let's say they want to buy something on your web page. Well, just interesting to learn about user behavior. And with this in mind, I'm going to go back to the presentation. Okay. Right, so the web page examples. And I'm smiling because I really feel bad for the people who are playing the game, but this was really, it gave us really cool insights. Okay, cool. So over here, we just decided to put that on a chart to show you that the first clicks in percentage of a screen, where do you find them mostly? Mostly you would find them, the first click would be on the first part of your website. So if you remember when I was showing you the example, when your website was divided into 5 equal parts, where we would have the biggest amount of views, right? In the first and might be second part. Over here, that's the chart that shows you the first click in terms of mobile, tablet, or desktop. So on the devices, where is the first click mostly done? We see that if again our web page is divided into 5 equal parts, for the first click would be in the first part and on a mobile. Well, sorry, not on the mobile, on the desktop. But there is not such a big difference, right? Though the mobile is growing, the usage of mobile is growing, still desktop in this case is bigger. And then when you see on this second part of your website, that's interesting to see that in comparison to the first part, the first click percentage for the desktop, it's not that well. Okay, it's half less. But if you compare that to the mobile on the second part is almost 3 times less. Right? That's good information for us to analyze. But of course, we can't just already take any decisions. We need to break the data into small parts, analyze, and I'm sure that we will have really cool insights from this chart. Why the cursor hover? That was also interesting. So in this case, first of all, your website is divided, when you use the Plerdy tool. So your website is divided into 10 equal parts, and that's what we see. So that most people would stay with the mouse on the second part of the website. So you remember when I was showing you the web page, I thought, okay, so the heat maps show that we have the biggest amount of clicks on the first part of the website. The scroll depth also shows us the same information, but cursor hover is showing us something different. Despite the fact that the first part of the website is important and is giving us one of the biggest amount of visitors, in this case, the second part of the website is also important. Okay, well, lots of information being said. And what should we focus on when we think about improving our UX and CRO? So, first of all, if you have the website, if you are running a business, ask yourself questions. And it's really nice to talk to yourself sometimes, right? So ask yourself questions. Is your traffic targeted, right? And the previous speakers also told us that you may make an assumption that you have this targeted traffic, but do you really have it? So try to figure out, is your traffic targeted? Then, despite the fact that you might love your website because you were creating it, you were making the design for it, you still have to ask yourself, are there any errors? And of course there are, because no one is perfect. So ask yourself already, are there many errors on my website? And try to find them. Okay, then of course ask yourself, is my website easy to navigate? But at this moment, it's really important to put yourself in the shoes of the user, because you might have been on this website millions of times, right? Because you're working on this website. But for a user, for a new person who is just coming to this website, is it really easy to navigate? So maybe you could ask some of your friends or relatives, right, to try to navigate this website and give you a strong feedback, but which might be hard, right? Because with friends and relatives, having this true feedback is a hard task. So use pop-up forms, use surveys, ask your visitors. And it's really nice to pay attention to your visitors, because then they will pay attention to your webpage. Okay, then ask yourself, do all elements function properly on my webpage? So how do you do that? Try to use each element on your website, right? You might have your common path that you do when you enter the web page, and that's why you might not notice that some elements are not functioning correctly. So this is a task for you to create a new route for yourself on your website and check all of the elements. Then ask yourself, why there are no clicks there on your web page, right? So you shouldn't take it as if, okay, maybe today is the bad weather, or maybe someone is not in the mood for buying. No, if there are no clicks, there is some reason behind that. So find out why there are no clicks. Then, if there are no clicks, you might be thinking, why is the bounce rate growing, right? So those are the logic questions that you would be asking yourself, feeling as the Sherlock Holmes, right? And of course, then you ask yourself, do I achieve my goals? And this is the moment when you might feel a little bit sad. But no worries, because as long as you ask yourself these important questions, it means that you are on the correct way to improving yourself, right? And making your business better. So ask yourself, how are my sales doing? And with that, you can start the usability analysis. So you have all of your questions, and now run tests to answer those questions. Okay. Well, bounce rate, right? It's kind of like a painful topic for lots of people. And I feel that pain because bounce rate is bad, right? Or maybe not, depending on how big it is, right? So here we give the statistical information about the bounce rate on target pages and channel traffics. So this is kind of like the general idea, the general information that we summed up from our previous studies. And we can say that the bounce rate on the main pages is up to 40%. On the category, it's up to 50%. Products face with up to 70% of bounce rate. Articles as well, up to 70%, but it's not in use because we know that reading is hard, right? Or just people do not read articles that much, which is a sad thing because there are so many cool articles. And landing pages actually, let's say, suffer the biggest from the bounce rate. Okay, and channel traffics for sure. Check your traffic channels. Sorry, channel traffics. Okay, over here, multi-channel funnels. So I really like this image because it shows how complicated the user behavior can be before they get what they wanted on your web page. So for example, let's take this second one. So you see, we have the user who came to our website with the organic search. Then he or she left it. Okay, then they had 8 attempts with a direct while coming to our web page. Okay, then they left it. Then referral, then direct, 40 times direct. Then they decided to find our website from the social network. Okay, then again direct 17 times, social network, direct. Well, really lots of information to analyze, but this is so useful. It shows all of these ways the user passed through before they achieve the goal on your website. User behavior, right? So just to sum it all up, how to understand the user behavior. Might be hard, but might be really fun because it's kind of like a game. You are playing with your user in terms of understanding your user better, right? Which tools can you use? Dynamic heat maps, really nice idea. And especially that it's dynamic, which means that you will be able to see all of the data at the same time as it is collected. Then with this, you will be able to learn the behavior on the mobile and on the desktop, because right now we're living in times when you can't say just check the user behavior. No, you have to segment or divide into mobile, desktop, and other devices. Also, divide by channel traffic. Understand where the first click was done. First click is really important. Then you can actually check the group of clicks. And check the text selection. The words are important. Even despite the fact that now we're transitioning to the video formats, the words are important. Okay. Then also with the scroll mobile and desktop, that's what I showed you on the conference page, right? So you can really learn a lot from understanding how deep the visitors, the customers scroll down on your page. Then you can also check where the cursor hover. Where does it spend most of the time while the customer is on the web page. And of course, video sessions and user groups. So video sessions is a really cool tool that gives you insights on how your user is behaving on your web page. And really fast, what are the facts of user behavior? I really like this example because this is something that we see in our office, right? So no need to go far. On this first page, you see there's a rubbish bin. There are two rubbish bins. Why? Why the one is closed, the one is open, and why do we see the rubbish only in one of them? Well, actually, this is a bright example of how lazy we are. I remember when I came to office and there were these two bins. The first one, I would have to open myself to put the rubbish in. Too hard, isn't it? So my brain decided to choose the easy option. Why not to use this rubbish bin, which is open? So this was a really cool example of how lazy we are, and we even took this idea while creating the game, while helping our customers to make them understand that actually there is no difference, almost no difference, between how we act in normal life and how we act on the web page, because this is it's all about our habits. And another example is just about how sometimes it's hard to understand whether you have to push or pull this door. And you know this feeling when you're like in this store trying to understand whether to push or to pull because you don't want to look like a fool. So sometimes just write with big words what your customer has to do on your website and make it easier for them. Okay. So also, what does not function on your website? This is the ideas that we came up with while analyzing different pages, while listening to the pains of our customers. First of all, banners on the main page. I will show you more example later. Articles, right? Understanding they do not always bring conversion. Then non-obvious icons. This is something about that might happen when designers create the web page and they think it's really beautiful. And of course, it might be really beautiful, but if there is some non-obvious icon, the customer, the user might think, why do I have to use this icon? What is it for? And unfortunately, this spirit for adventures doesn't always stay with us while we're on the web page, right? It's not about investigating every corner on the web page. Mostly it's about finding the most comfortable way. So I wouldn't try to open this non-obvious icon if I don't know what it means for me. Another thing, long pages. With long pages might be tricky because sometimes they can be functioning, sometimes they can be not functioning. Everything depends on how you sort the items on your web page, where you put those attractive forms on your web page. But in most cases, the longer the page is, the less attractive it is. Also, obscure calls to action. If you want me to act on your page, make it easier for me to act on your page. And if there are identical elements, it doesn't function either. So try not to repeat the information on your web page, because why would you repeat it, right? Okay, so here, these are just a couple of examples which might be easier, which might show what steps you need to do or what changes you have to do on your website to make it easier for your customer to navigate. So for example, on this web page, you see the error shows that there's those icons that might pop up, but at the same time, I, as a user, I think, which should I click on? So simply add the words by saying, so this is the menu, this is the filter, and it will be easier for me to navigate. Over here, actually, this is, I believe everybody has noticed that enter your email to stay in touch doesn't work. We have social media to stay in touch. We have so many different connections every day to stay in touch with lots of people that we do not want to put our email here. But different example, get 10% off your order. Subscribe and get this coupon now. Okay, this works for me. I'm eager to put my name and put my email address because there will be some benefit for me as well. Okay, this is about the banners on this main page, on this landing page. Of course, landing page is not something that most visitors would come to, right? Which means that if you as the business, you put some banners there showing the information about your sales, about some discounts, no one will see it. So why would you put it here? Think about that. Maybe there's a better page to put all of this information on. Oh yeah, so here's just the data that we want to show you that actually not more than like up to 2%, the biggest, is the amount of views that would come to the landing page in comparison to the whole amount of views that your website receives. So this is an idea, right, to take into consideration. Okay, in this case, what we wanted to show is that everything looks perfect. The design is beautiful. This girl is beautiful. New arrivals. Everything is nice. But what do we do next? So just simply put something here, like subscribe or some link, and you will already see the engagement between this form, this banner, and the user. Same example with the bad banners. Well, not bad banners. We can't say it like that, right? Not bad, not worse, just different. So I want this sale and I want this sale. I'm clicking and nothing happens. So why would I click here, right? Or better, I'm not even spending any time on this landing page. So put this information in another space for me and I will be so grateful for it. Okay, just quickly here. So here we decided to see which form. So we decided to run this A/B testing and see which form is easier for our customers to use. And actually, they are kind of similar. And we see that we get much more clicks over here, which means that this pop-up form is easier for our customers than this slide version. So, okay, we'll just take this form out for the next time, and we'll just leave this one. So not to distract our customers between this and this forms. And over here, so this is really important when we speak about the mobile version, the mobile version of the website. When you are on the desktop, which happens mostly, meaning that when you click here, or like you scroll a little bit down, and on the desktop versions, mostly you will receive more information about the product here. So the price and the characteristics and so on. But if the same page is not adapted, let's say, so to the mobile version, we would just simply see this image and nothing else. So the one who would come to the mobile version of this website will just see the image and that's it. There would be no interaction. So check, check, and check. Is your mobile version functioning the same as the desktop one? And quickly, examples of bad usability. So we decided there was an experience that we will live through it, which was really not that let's say comfortable, yeah, or like pleasant for us. So there was this big website that we decided to enter, and when you enter, there is a pop-up form which asks you which language you want to talk, or like which area you're from. So we decided to check to take United States. Okay, what happens next? If I want to enter the same page but from a different browser, I would be redirected to the same question, which is strange. Why do I need to input the same information? So we decided to find an article where there would be a link to this website. So we decided to get to this website from the article, and the first page we would meet would be the same one. And the third attempt from our side, we decided to find the product itself on the internet, and by clicking on the product to appear to visit this website. And again, the website asked us the same question. So this is a bright example of the bad conversion funnel because too many steps are taken and I'm wasting my time while inputting the same information. Okay, and over here, by the way, this is an example of sometimes, when the website has different languages, and let's say you choose, so here we show the example on one page, we decided to take English, okay, and we had to look for the word keyboard. And then we have lots of different examples here, different items with a keyboard, okay. Then we do the same, but for the German version. So the language is German, and I input keyboard, and I don't have the same information. Why? That's strange because actually this item, despite the fact that I changed the language of the whole website, this item would not be changing its name. So this is a bad example of the usability. So again, check once, check twice, and check as many times as you need to before you are sure that everything works properly on your web page. But of course, don't take too long before launching, because there will be all the time some new errors or like some new points of pain that you would be able to fix. And how you can do that? By using good tools to analyze your data and by listening to your customers, because they are the one who you are depending on. So Thank you so much for your attention, guys. We will be happy to send you this presentation, and plus there are some case studies that we made on the SEO mistakes and on the usability of website testing. And in case you are thinking about getting the Plerdy tool, we are really happy to offer you the discount of 30%. Just address us and we'll tell you more about this. And thank you so much. Here's my email address, or you can just simply find us by looking for Plerdy online.